Why is it that you can be deeply unhappy, know exactly what's wrong, and still find yourself unable to live? I want you to know it's not because you're weak. It's not because you lack courage. Most of the time, staying isn't a choice you're actively making. It's a pattern you slowly fall into. And once you understand that pattern, the confusion begins to lift. In today's episode, we are looking at the 3 reasons we stay in place, even when we know we are unhappy. And at the end of the video, I'll share the one shift in my perspective that finally allowed me to stop shaming myself for the time I felt I had lost. So keep watching to the end. A quick reminder, this video is for clarity and reflection, not professional advice. When we talk about unhappy marriages, we often assume staying is a daily decision. But for most people, it doesn't feel like a decision at all. It develops quietly, through daily routines, compromises, and long stretches of silence. You don't just wake up one day and decide to feel trapped. You simply adjust, you adapt, you survive. Over time, the marriage becomes less about connection and more about keeping life running. You're not staying because you're choosing pain. You're staying because you've built a life that functions around it. The first pattern is identity shrinkage. Over time, you stop asking, what do I want? Or who am I becoming? Instead, your identity narrows into roles. You're the responsible one, the peacemaker, the one who holds the walls up. This doesn't happen because you've lost yourself. It happens because survival leaves very little room for growth. When your identity shrinks, the idea of living doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like disappearing. Another way this shows up is what I call tolerance creep. Things that once felt unacceptable become manageable. From being manageable, they become normal, and then they become invisible. This doesn't happen because the pain is gone, but because you've learned how to live around it. You stop naming what hurts. You stop expecting repair. This isn't peace. It's accommodation. And the longer you accommodate, the harder it becomes to remember what hell they ever felt like. The third pattern we will talk about is time distortion. You tell yourself, just get through this year. Once things settle, after the kids are older. But the thing is, time doesn't pause. It stretches. Years pass without decisions, without resolution. And eventually, the fear is no longer about living. It's realizing how much life happened while you were waiting for the right moment to arrive. When you understand these patterns, something important happens. You stop asking, what's wrong with me? And you start asking, what has this situation required me to become just to survive it? Being in a holding pattern is often a sign that you've been strong for too long without support. Understanding this doesn't tell you what to do next, but it gives you back your dignity. Here is the shift that changed everything for me. It took me over 10 years to make my decision, to take that bold step. I stopped seeing those years as lost time and started seeing them as processing time. We live in a culture that treats living as the only proof of strength. If you stay in an unhappy marriage, you're told you're failing. But the truth is, your spirit can't go where your nervous system doesn't feel safe yet. Those years weren't wasted. They were the time it took to gather enough clarity, enough strength, and self-trust to eventually choose myself without breaking. I wasn't stalling. I was surviving until I was ready to leave. And once the shame was gone, the truth became possible. If this helped you see your situation through a clearer lens, you are not behind. You are becoming more aware. And if you're ready for a deeper, more honest conversation, I made another video called Are You Staying Because of Love or Fear? It helps you explore what's really keeping you without judgment or pressure. You can watch that next. And if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like it. It helps more people find these conversations. I'll see you in the next episode.